allow the two children to attend the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
Off your mind.
Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Amaewhule don't come. He go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. Amaewhule diary politico, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira, still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Amaewhule don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. Amaewhule diary politico, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Amaewhule, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Amaewhule diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Amaewhule don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Amaewhule don't come, oh yo yo. Amaewhule làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Amaewhule làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Amaewhule ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Amaewhule já wa sí. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Amaewhule máa wí. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Amaewhule diary politico. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Amaewhule. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Àní Amaewhule làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Amaewhule diary na he be number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Amaewhule ti dé. Amaewhule ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Amaewhule ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Amaewhule ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Amaewhule ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Amaewhule ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Amaewhule ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Amaewhule ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ijó ìgbádìí yẹ. Presido lárúfin o.
Máyégún màmí.
Àní ẹ̀sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún màmí.
Àní ẹ̀sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá.
Máyégún màmí.
Àní ẹ̀sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun live. Dear brethren in the Temple of Truth, you are welcome back once again. And if you have read the caption of this broadcast, remember to read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them all that Mayegun today, that Mayegun is live. And according to the writer of this broadcast, it seems, as predicted, the day of reckoning or the day of a showdown is near in Rivers State of trouble, where the incumbent governor, Seamless Fubara, has been facing some backlashes from his erstwhile political family. Anyway, I don't think that pretty much describes it anymore. They are now sworn enemies that are now looking for the jugular of one another and see who is going to probably bleed out first. The Supreme Court of Injustice of the Contraption, right, played a smart one, a very much like an heavy blow to the political base of Fubara. And since then, Werey Wike has been going lyrical. So we are going to start from River State tonight. Indeed, bringing to you the updates on the ongoing face-off, right, between Werey Wike and his estranged godson or political son, whatever you want to call it. So today, Sim Fubara went to the supposed place that is like their House of Assembly, you know, like the makeshift. You remember the original one has been bombed in 2023 when the crisis, started. Now, the Supreme Court judgment, which has given the Werey Wike's loyalists the upper hand. I'm talking about the political leverage or advantage over a recalcitrant political son of Werey Wike, which is Fubara. However, for those who care to know better, even though this stage seemed to have been like, to be a stage that they've passed, but they haven't, sincerely. It's like going back to square one. When this whole thing started in 2023, right? The primary goal or order given to the Martin Amaewhule's House of Assembly was to quickly prepare the impeachment of Fubara. Initially, it was to scare him and see if he could probably come back to his senses and implement what he agreed to, which was to share the 30% of the all revenue accrued to the River State people should be given to the political base of Werey Wike. Now, this was the genesis, according to the available information out there, even though Werey Wike denied it. And then Fubara and his camp said the reason why this whole wahala started in the first place was because of sharing formula, which was 30-70, 70% for the rest of River State, 30 for Werey Wike and his cronies. So along the line, the House of Assembly members probably made a wrong move at the wrong time that got their seats declared vacant, which the Supreme Court has now reinstated by saying they'd never decamped, and therefore Fubara was ordered to go back to them, deal with them even though he wouldn't want to. So deal with them or lose the state allocation, which is currently being withheld by the thiefnubu's regime. So today, Seamless Fubara and his entourage, they appeared at what looked like the makeshift status of assembly, right? He said he sent a letter, he sent a letter to them yesterday that, okay, in fulfillment of the Supreme Court's judgment, he will be presenting the 2025 budget to them and also probably make peace with them. Here is the letter that was sent to the status of assembly members yesterday in the afternoon. You know, so, let me read it in parts, by the way. Addressed to Martin Amaewhule. Please recall, it's a presentation of Rivers State 2025 budget to the Rivers Status of Assembly. Please recall my statewide broadcast of 2nd March 2025, in which I expressed our unreserved commitment to implementing the recent Supreme Court judgments on the political disputes in Rivers State as soon as the enrolled judgment orders were served on us. It was in furtherance of this commitment that we initiated the consultative meetings with the Rivers Status of Assembly for the 10th of March 2025 to consider all the issues raised by the judgment and agree on the way forward in the best interest of their states. However, these crucial meetings was never held, which was unfortunate. Nevertheless, we have decided to move on to swiftly implement the terms of the judgment as promised, having now been served with the certified true copy. Consequently, we wish to notify Mr. Speaker of our desire and intention to present the 2025 Rivers State's appropriation bill to the Rivers State House of Assembly on Wednesday, 12th March 2025 by 10 a.m. Thank you for your kind consideration of my request by the House, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it was revealed that the letter was delivered, but it was not to actually be honored. So this morning, Fubara appeared at what would look like the State House of Assembly. But upon getting there, the gate was shut. That is the headline in most of their, their media or newspaper cutouts online and offline today. But there is more. Where Werey Wike, who just came back from Italy, held his own media parley, called in some journalists, asking him, some, random questions, or should I say prepared questions to have a shot at his own sworn political enemies, shouting, screaming as usual, but we'll get to that part. So the highlight of Werey Wike's 120 minutes parley with the media was basically about bragging on how Fubara will be taught a very big lesson of his life, and it's just unraveling. The first part was this, when he appeared at Martin Amaewhule's assembly. Watch this.
Wait, come this way.
Don't worry.
No, we captured them from here. Oh, sorry.
Clear, police. Clear one corner.
Come on, for us.
Keep moving.
Make him fine. For position. And for just position inside.
No go.
Sorry.
The gate is locked. All right, okay. There are no security men. Nobody to open the gate. They left. All of them.
With members of the council to comply with the Supreme Court judgment. Before my arrival, I've already made several attempts by phone call to reach the Speaker and other members. I also did a letter personally which was transmitted to the Honorable Speaker for this particular invitation. But it's unfortunate that at the gates, you can see that the place is completely sealed and there's no sign that anything is going to happen today. The reason why we're doing this, I've always said it, is the interests of our people, which is the most important thing. Well, I don't think there's anything to worry about. Maybe they are working on their letter. I expect to hear from them maybe after this hour. Thank you.
See, they are inside now. They are inside. See them there, and I'm seeing them. The governor wants to meet them there. Withdraw.
So that was the drama at what I kind of found out as well is the fact that after bombing the Status of Assembly in 2023 and the place got shut down, so the assembly guys, the lawmakers, right, loyal to Werey Wike, they have been meeting within their own legislative quarters. It's like they converted a small space within their legislative quarters as the assembly. Something that ordinarily those who were initially on the side of Fubara are now calling him a weakling, a very weak man. That if it was Werey Wike, not a single member of that Status of Assembly will remain in River State. They will remain in that legislative quarters now. Not a single one of them. Not to talk of them remaining in River State, kind of. Like the lawlessness that Werey Wike kind of represents. Something that he did and got away with, right, is what Fubara is currently being whipped to line for. So yeah, the governor was outside the gates, all right, and they shut the gates. They shut it and they were looking at him from inside. Like, no. There's no point in trying to make any peace. Alaye, the objective is right now is to get you removed, and you will be removed. Now here is the, the man behind all of it, bragging, so proud of himself, Werey Wike, responding when he was asked about this latest development. His response, first.
You have had a frosty relationship with an arm of government. If you're a good politician, it is you go right later. Well done. If you're a good politician, you have had a frosty relationship with me. For how many years? I've never sat down with you. I've never spoken with you. You seized my salaries. You seized my allowances. Guaranteed by law. You took it. No problem. Now you won a court of appeal. It didn't even occur to you. Even though I won a court of appeal, I still want peace. The matter went to Supreme Court. And Supreme Court now gave judgment. Then the next thing we'll do, that you want to implement, who says no? Is it by writing letter? And who signed the letter? A bloody SSG. Who signed letter to a head of arm of government? What an insult is that? You are telling me here, sending to government will sign letter to the President of Senate or to Speaker of the House of Representatives. The President is coming to present budget. Isn't that it is done?
What should he have done?
If you're a politician, you know what to do. Look, I don't understand. Listen. First of all, assuming you want to go through that route, what is normally done? You call the leadership and say, listen, this is where we are. I want to present this budget back to you. They agree. Okay. Let's look at it. That will be okay for us. You are not the one to write that I'm coming to present budget tomorrow. Who does that? No, who does that? You went to play to the gallery that you wrote a letter, which is rubbish. I have been in government. I don't just write a letter to Mr. Speaker. I'm coming to present budget tomorrow morning. I think your children. Do you know their engagement? All this is done is to tell you that I'm sincere. Mr. Speaker, where are you? Are you at home? Can you come? Can I come? Can we talk? And they agree on something. And then Mr. Speaker will go back and call his colleagues. Listen, Mr. Governor called me. I met with him. He said, look, he wants to present budget so day. It's okay. Monday, Tuesday. But Speaker, you know that our schedule is so tight. Okay, no, let us accommodate. That's how things are done. All these letters you are writing is useless. You are not sincere. You are playing to the gallery. Everybody knows you are not sincere. You are playing to the gallery. A true politician will not do that way. Let me tell you, Mr. President was to present budget to the National Assembly. Assembly people were not happy for one thing or the other. We met in ESCO, and they said, oh, they've shifted it to the next day. Why? He had to meet with leadership to agree some gray areas. He doesn't need to write letter. A man who does not want peace is a man who will play to the gallery. Writing a letter to I've written letter. Written letter to who? To your son?
Well, you make this meeting sound very, very easy. After a frosty relationship, that might not be very easy.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, so now you agree with me. After a frosty relationship, you have suffered their families. They cannot pay their children's school fees. Their money they are entitled. Court gave order, you cannot stop their money. You had a penchant of disobeying court orders. This is a country where, you know, I have never, you know, we like things that somebody is doing something wrong. Instead of you to come out to say, look, what you are doing is wrong. You go and capture, oh, it is a social political opponent. What kind of rubbish is that? Must you not have opponent? In politics, must you not have opponent? Is there any law that says in politics, everybody must queue behind you? So what is all this? Oh, his opponent. So what? If you give the opponent opportunity to make you unstable, then you will be unstable. You will be. Yeah. There's no law. After all, there are also people who are working against Tinubu's administration. So Tinubu cannot come and complain. My opponents are working against his opponents. Did they tell me that they will make him to be comfortable? Who does that?
Your Excellency, some people might say, you know, the frostiness is, you know, on both sides in terms of the ultimatums that were given.
Yes,
the ultimatums that were given by the Amaewhule's led legislators about presenting the budget, and also the issues of the commissioners that were elected without vetting from the...
Now you are taking that point. Now let me tell you something. Are you not going to commend them? That they even agreed that we are ready. Can you present the budget? You are presenting to 3 people now. So the budget is there. It's not as if you are going to do it. Okay, carry it. Come on, we are ready to work with you.
But
for the interest...
The new ones was different.
I'm coming. What?
The new ones was different. They gave them an ultimatum.
No, you see, that's the problem.
That's the problem. He won't let them talk. I saw Werey Wike, you know, speaking with one president of Lombardy, remember, a few days ago. And he was there listening to this Italian as he was presenting his point or making his point. And this Werey Wike seated like, you know, like that. And he was pretending to be like a normal person, across his leg like that. And he was allowing this guy to finish all his statements. But that is not Werey Wike. Werey Wike is somebody that pretty much loves this kind of, you know, spectacle, right? Where the Nigerian journalists are not really allowed to ask real questions. Because even if they ask him any real question, Werey Wike is going to use his... you know, his usual emperor attitude of listen. Let me tell you something. You know, you don't understand. Listen. Like that. You know? And he kind of get away with that, by the way, you know. So Werey Wike is on top of the world, knowing very well that Fubara's days are numbered. And Fubara is a weakling, no doubt. Initially, when he started, people said it's because it's, you know, it's calm, candor, is calm man, and all of that stuff. They are like a power move. That it was going to eventually, you know, be the nemesis of Werey Wike, kind of. But these days, all those with that belief are beginning to change their minds. And of course, you know, in the abundance of art, I mean, is that not what you say? I mean, how you say it? In the abundance of mouth, I mean, abundance of art, the mouth speaketh, right? So Werey Wike said, nothing could happen if Fubara is removed, in his words.
Don't even you tell me I have to support. Who is the one? Who is the bedrock? Who? I'm the one. I am the one that will champion Mr. President. I'm also doing it. You don't preach that one to me. Everybody knows me in this country.
Will you sanction the impeachment of Sim Fubara?
Sanction?
Yes.
If assembly thinks that he committed infraction, and he knows he committed, you find peace. It's not by gara-gara. It's not by threatening.
All right. Gloria,
see, let me tell you, if an armed robber knows he committed armed robbery, what you do when you go to court, my lord, I did this. Forgive me. Give me a second opportunity. The judge will look at you. Okay, now he has done this. Instead of killing him, that I give him 2 years imprisonment. 3 years. Okay. You understand me? No, but when you sit with people trying to tell you, let me tell you how arrogant, let me tell you this. The governor was misled. 3 weeks to Supreme Court judgment. You know what he did? In my own family, my community, the governor came and removed my chief. My chief, yes. I made another person in my own family. In my own family. Now, that's the point I'm making, because he was giving the hope that he will win the Supreme Court. So nothing. Now you tell me, have we played politics to the level you penetrate to somebody's family, to dabble into internal affairs of the family? Now, you know, sometimes when people talk about this peace, you don't take everything to consideration. You just sit outside, you talk. Look at me, former governor, Minister of FCT. Governor has the temerity, the audacity, because they had money from Federation account, because they had money from IGR, would enter my own family to remove the chief and make another person chief. Come on. Come on. What is anybody talking? What is anybody talking? And you are telling me if I'm ready for peace. Who is talking this problem now? Who is talking the problem? You look at me. Me or 4 person, so. Who are you? I'm not talking about local government. I'm not, my own family. You look at me. Simply because judicial merchants have told you you will win. They've collected your money. And that's why I pity judges and justices. I pity them. People collect money and they play this game. How do they play the game? They play this game. If you win, they say the judges collected money. Meanwhile, no kobo was given. I pity them. Yeah, I mean, I know what I know. Now, if they don't win, they go back and say, well, it will be difficult for us to go and collect the money back, because let people not know that we pay the bribe. So, whichever way, they suffer. And then what happened to him? And that's why he said yesterday, instead of him to blame himself, he said the parties. No.
All right. Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister.
Werey Wike is going lyrical, is on top of the world. It seems they are just counting days now. So how they are going to play it is unknown yet. But it seems that it doesn't really matter how they play it. Even if it looks so illegal or what have you, it doesn't really matter. They have the court on their side. He also said a few things as well, by the way, on PDP. Werey Wike is meant to be a PDP member, right? He worked against his own political party in what he called the betrayal, the betrayal of his own ambition by the supposed trusted PDP guys who betrayed him for Atiku. And that is why he had to betray his own party. And he's done nothing wrong. According to him, he's done nothing wrong. Going on to sabotage his own political party or thiefnubu. And he's been compensated with that. And as you are watching this video, it is also on record that PDP is finished as long as Werey Wike is concerned. So they have different court cases, okay, litigations to control what's going to happen inside the PDP. As Werey Wike is also concerned. So, well, he had his reasons. He said he was betrayed. That people cannot be relied upon. He's talking about Bala Mohammed of Bauchi. Spoke about a few others as well. That people wanted him, they wanted him to be punished, forgetting the fact that from the onset, Bala Mohammed, Diri, and others, they actually, especially Bala Mohammed, that they agreed because it was Bala Mohammed who told him, Werey Wike, that if Atiku should become the PDP candidate and also to become the president of Nigeria, that Atiku was going to kill him. That's Bala Muhammad in Bauchi. And because of that, Bala Muhammad came to him and said they should all go and work for thiefnubu, even though Bala Muhammad is still in PDP. So he, Werey Wike, openly supported thiefnubu, worked against a PDP. But those who agreed with him to do that, to counter and stop Atiku, have turned around to now begin to kind of call him names and asking for him to be punished. You know, said a lot. Here is another one. Watch this.
This is the set of governors that want PDP to die. This crop of governors, their interest is to keep PDP. I was a governor. As at that time, I saw the opposition party, the ruling, opposition party. No, the ruling party then, that's the under Buhari, came out fighting PDP. Using our Modi Sharif fight to keep PDP. I'm proud to say, I am proud, very, very proud. I stood my ground. I said, no, it won't work. PDP must survive. I never went to the that. Never. Never. In fact, I stopped going to NEC and Security Council meeting because I was afraid of my life. I stood and I said, PDP will not die. Forget about these people, you know, you say one thing here, in the night you say a different thing. I never hit my intention, where I'm going to. If I could not then, is it now? I'm serving. Now you talk about zonal congress. Arrogance. Unnecessary arrogance. They said they are zonal governor. Rubbish. Rubbish. You must be governor with character. You can say whatever you want to say. I have never played two roles. I have never. And I will not. When the issue of PDP presidential thing, ask the president. I never. Ask him whether he gave me 1 naira. It's alive. What I demanded, what condition, I never did. I said, my belief is that the president should go to the south. My belief, who is likely to win for the south, it is you. I'm not saying he's a righteous person. I'm not saying, but as a politician, I should be able to say who has the tendency, who is likely to win, not on sentiment. Not on sentiment. You don't need to like him. But does he possess what it takes to win an election? Yes.
This was after you lost out.
Do I want him to win? Yes. Now, I played the game openly. I never hid it. You have governors today. Their leg is here. Their leg is here. What kind of characters are that?
They are also accusing you of the same thing.
Hold on. No, they can't say that. You shouldn't even say that.
They are also accusing you of the same thing.
No, hold on. They can't. They don't have what it takes. No governor can look at my face and say that. Not one.
They say you are in
my friend, hold on. I was in PDP. I said they won't win for presidency. And they didn't win. But I said they will win in House of Assembly. They win National Assembly. How do you want a man to tell you something? So what is accusing me? Why not tell people this is where you stand? If God has made you governor, what are you afraid of? Governor. You are afraid. Today you talk here. In the 1970s. Now look at my zonal congress. I was a governor. That's why I say governance is not about commissioning projects. We call meetings, we call senators, we call National Assembly members, we call chairmen, zonal committee, come. We manipulate it to our own way to suit what we're saying. But meeting has been called. And everybody has agreed. That's the capacity. Not everybody can commission projects. But everybody cannot have this capacity. What's happening today on the National Assembly? The Court of Appeal gave status quo ante-bellum. What is status quo ante-bellum? Before the hostility started. Go back to where you are. They went. organized themselves and said, oh, okay, you know that illegality to the highest order. And I was watching a governor came to my house. I said, you're a lawyer? Is that what you are taught in law school? I can't believe this. Interest. And all these shenanigans they are doing, somebody will fight it. And when you fight it, you become an agent. How would I become an agent? Look, that's why I tell you, people don't have character. How did Bala Mohammed use us? Bala Mohammed was having problem with Atiku and Co. He was having problem. He came to me. In fact, that day, I was going to commission the lounge at the airport. When he landed, I said, oh, there's no need coming into town since I'm coming to the airport. Brother Adoke, the former Attorney General, was there. But I was one. Unknown to him, I was laughing. I said, look, Atiku will kill him if Atiku wins. That we must support Aswaju. I laughed. That's okay. Now, we now organize G5 to go and pay Bala a visit in Bauchi, not knowing that he was using us to settle with Atiku. So when we went there, he was happy. The next day, Tamboa, Sudalamide, all of them led a team to go and see Bala. And Bala abandoned us. Now reconciled. Now, I will see, these are the things I say. Look, there are positions you occupy. You must be a man of character. I don't need to go to any malam, any priest, any bishop to pray for me to have character. I'm nobody, I agree. This Diri they are talking now, Governor Diri. You know, that's why you know when you put people in power. Go and ask the Minister of Petroleum. He brought Governor Diri to me in Wisconsin, where I was staying. This governor you are talking now, that's why when I look at people, I say character is something you cannot buy.
Former FCT Minister Natasha Werey said it yesterday that APC, like the president was kind of destabilizing other political parties.
Hold on. I don't want to go into that. That edifies you. I don't.
Are you an agent?
Is entitled. Do I look like somebody who will be an agent? Is there anything I do I don't do publicly? Is there anything? Now, sort of, don't cut me what I say because I know where you're headed. Hanakin Lebobri, the Minister of Petroleum, brought him with David Lyon. This governor, he was kneeling down. I said, no, don't do that. You're the governor, don't do that. Today, you go and call a meeting, South Zone, in your house. Minister of Health will not be there. Zonal Committee will not be there. Senators will not be there. National Assembly will not be there. Is there politics is played? Something you can still achieve.
Nuisance, Lele.
So, for those of you who have paid attention to Werey Wike's, diatribes all this while, like myself, you can tell that his main grouse with a lot of people he talks about is because they kind of like used him, in his own words, like they used me. Tambua was looting Sokoto State like tomorrow no day, while Werey Wike was looting Rivers State blind. Werey Wike was using Rivers State money to bail out Sokoto State that is bankrupt, with the promise that Werey Wike would be supported to be the presidential candidate of APC. Similarly, with Bala Mohammed, Werey Wike believes that Bala Mohammed also used him in settling whatever his score was with Atiku. And all of this, so Werey Wike makes all these men without character. He has character. is a man of integrity. He openly tells everybody what he wants to do and why. And all of that nonsense anyway. So yeah. So Werey Wike, I will keep saying this though. Werey Wike should be so grateful to thiefnubu. So with what we are now witnessing in Rivers State right now, here is my projection. As this week is running out, and Fubara, which like who showed up at their supposed legislative quarters today to present a budget and got denied. I am kind of going to be giving them about, let's say, a week. And the conversation you are going to be hearing afterward will be the impeachment of Fubara. There are others who believe that that is not going to happen. It's impossible. If you look at what is at play here, especially the role that the Supreme Court has played in all of this, I can confidently tell you that except something happens, yeah, they will attempt to remove him. In fact, they are going to announce his impeachment process any moment from now. To those who have also used their own wisdom in projects based on available information as well, when thiefnubu said they should go and tell Fubara to obey the Supreme Court, that is he tried to settle them and all that, but it didn't work. So others are saying, you know what? It seems that the fight between Fubara and Werey Wike, right, is going to be like a match between two chickens, and whichever one that fights to leave, right, would have thiefnubu's sort of a backing. But presently, if all of us are being honest, if you are being honest and not being emotional, right now, the Werey Wike camp, among other things, so like, the other factors that we may have to consider, right? Werey Wike's side, they have the upper hand. And if they are determined, as we have been told anyway, if they are determined to plunge the state into further crisis, which may not even be any crisis per se, if you have been following the body language of Fubara, it doesn't seem to be somebody who has it in him, okay? So probably ward up these guys. So if he's impeached, I can assure you, apart from a few murmuring here and there will never be a wimp. You're likely not going to hear a wimp. It will be gone. And yeah, from what I have also heard, the permutation right now is a two-way thing. This is just for our own conversation here, okay? Two-way thing. Should they remove Fubara and his deputy, who is a lady? The lady who hasn't said a word, who hasn't been seen in public since this whole wahala started, except for one time, and that was like last month when she said or denied the resignation rumor, because it was said that she was going to resign and it was going to be just a Fubara alone. So in Rivers State as we speak, right, after this their Supreme Court of Injustice judgments, we have had a few kind of like a member of their government in Rivers State throwing in the towel, especially their RCEC. Some of them are already resigning, meaning the whole thing is pretty much like a coming to a close. So would they just remove Fubara and install his deputy, a lady? Or would they just have to remove both of them? And if that happens, that will automatically make Martin Amaewhule the governor of Rivers State, from speaker to governor. Now, like I said earlier, the other factors that seems to be giving them, sleepless nights on how to go about this removal is that there are rumors already that the plan was to remove Fubara and his deputy and put Martin Amaewhule as the acting governor of Rivers State. Now, Amaewhule is from Obiakpo, the same place like a Werey Wike. So if Werey Wike removed an Ijaw man, right, who happened to be the first, the only Ijaw to have become a governor in Rivers State, according to them, because this is their reality today, right? So if Werey Wike succeed in removing an Ijaw man and they will put back an Ikwere man from his own clan, how is that going to play out on the rest of the states? Well, I don't know. But there's something I do know, or I do wish rather, is that let them remove Fubara. Sure you get. There are those who believe that they can't, but they can. Trust me, they can. And if they want to, they will. And from my own side, I want them to. So that more could see how the whole thing will play out. So from what we have heard, even though it was Obasanjo who tried that, removing a state governor, declaring a state of emergency, but a court has now ruled that even if a crisis leads to a state of emergency in a state, the only people that will lose that will be the House of Assembly members. The governor cannot be removed. State of emergency can no longer remove a state governor anymore. I don't know if you remember that. So others are saying that even though Fubara is acting weak, but he's not stupid. That one of the things he's pushing is, like Werey Wike pointed out, is to play to the gallery and make it look more or less like he's looking for peace and all of that. And since they have shown their other side now, so if the case, if the state goes into serious crisis, including financial crisis, the thing is, Fubara cannot be removed. That simply means if a state of emergency is declared, so Fubara cannot be removed, the status of assembly will be dissolved for another 6 months or any further. So right now, the only person who stands to gain from all of this, according to the people, is thiefnubu. And that sounds right too, because their 2027 charade is coming close, and Werey Wike needs to solidify his base, just same way he used Rivers State as his bargaining chip in 2023. Because if he failed to have the control of a Rivers State as he plans to, right, then there will be nothing to actually negotiate with or something to offer thiefnubu. So right now, it seems that the losers in all of this will be the people of Rivers State. And the winner in all of this, either way the whole thing goes, will be thiefnubu, who can easily just pretend to, if thiefnubu is on the side of Werey Wike will pretend to be like, we can have everything. Here you get. And if it's on the side of Fubara, throwing Werey Wike into throwing Werey Wike under the bus. So either way, he is the one to possibly exploit this. But like Dele Farotimi put it on X earlier today, now we won't go kill anybody that begs Werey Wike not to go ahead and remove Fubara. We want to see something. I want to see them announce his impeachment. I want to see how this is going to play out. I do not want to invest my own emotion by projecting, I'm on the side. No, I don't be on the side of any of them. These are a bunch of criminals, all right? And unfortunately, people will take side though. Well, please don't. Not on this platform. We'll watch them, right? We'll watch them and see how this plays out. I want to see something. I want to see how, the players in all of this are going to handle it enough and see if it doesn't blow up on their faces. As for Werey Wike, he knows that the only the only armor that he currently has that he can use, which everybody is expecting anyway, is that announce that you want to impeach Fubara, so that we can see how this is going to eventually play out, including those who have been threatening of shutting down the Nigerian, oil production and all of that. We want to see that. Please, don't look at me like I'm somebody who just wants to see Nigeria burn. No. Wishes don't really, mean anything. It is the actions of the rogues in charge of that contraption that matters. So their actions, I've said this before, except for the internal implosion, there's likely not going to be a chance. An internal implosion that is going to create a crack in the wall, in their wall, that will eventually bring all of them down. Some of them will have to run away from that contraption when the shit hit the fan. Or without the shit hitting the fan, we are likely never going to witness that, On the other news, yesterday, Natasha Akpabiole, the senator from Kogi, they accused the Senate President of sexual harassment, was in New York, where she decided to report the harassment and the suspension and others, to the women member of Inter-Parliamentary Union in the United Nations. So the genesis of all of that.
For the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenure of the suspension, Senator Natasha Akpabiole shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration by the Nigerian Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. I don't think, Senator Baribe, as a landlord of the Senate, I don't think they heard what I read. So let me just repeat for clarity. That for the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenure of the suspension, Senator Natasha Akpabiole shall submit a written apology to the Senate before the reconsideration by the Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. Okay, because I thought I heard 50-50. Let me make it 40-60. That for the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenure of suspension, Senator Natasha Akpabiole shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration of this case by the Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. For the Senate to...
Now let's give you the back story. Natasha Akpabiole is a refresher, okay, just refreshing. Natasha Akpabiole said she has been somehow like boxed to the corner, prevented from, doing a job as a lawmaker, moving bill and all that. However, the Akpabiole Senate decided to move her from her, current seat. She rejected the change of seat, which they called misconduct. So, and there is nowhere that you are going to suspend somebody for misconduct. You suspend them for 6 months because of misconduct, because of seat arrangements and disagreements. So she said the reason why she has been somehow shadowed or completely blocked from doing her job by Akpabiole on the floor of the Senate was because he resisted the sexual advancement from him. Something that was so scandalous enough that, as expected, according to Natasha, she expected that all her allegations or petitions against Akpabiole would kind of subject the two of them to the scrutiny of the Senate Committee on Ethics and what have you. But to her surprise, the committee that was supposed to take our petition publicly said our petition was dead on arrival, which means they are not going to treat it. The same committee then came up the following day, 24 hours after this issue of misconduct or what have you, like this argument over seats. The committee came up the following day and recommended that she must be suspended for 6 months. And all our benefits as a senator must also be withheld and all that. And she was like, this was their effort in shutting her down because they said, except she comes back to apologize. So the issue of sexual harassment is not being entertained in Nigeria. Rather, she's suspended for 6 months, and she was told that if she was to be called a senator again, she would need to write an apology letter to Akpabiole. Imagine you being told to apologize to your abuser. That is why she took a case to the Inter-Parliamentary Union in the United Nations yesterday. I have the full clip of our speech there, and I also have a clip of the response of the president of the IPU, Inter-Parliamentary Union of the United Nations as well, who said, it's great to hear from you. I'm really sorry about what you have been through, but we'd love to hear from others because Akpabiole is also a lawmaker. So which means Akpabiole, just like Natasha, also has a seat at that IPU as well. But Natasha first, a full clip, brethren.
Good afternoon, President of the IPU. Good afternoon, colleagues. I come with a heavy heart from Nigeria, but first I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Ogbara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpabiole. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabiole. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally. But I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women. Because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. Women make up 3.6% of political offices, and in the Senate, it's just 2.8%. We have 109 men, and only 4 of us are women. So right now, it's 108 with only 3 women. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48/104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. The Senate's actions are an assault on democracy. I was elected by my constituents to represent them. Yet a few powerful men have unilaterally decided to silence their voices by suspending me for 6 months. My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability. If a female senator can be treated this way in the full view of the world, imagine what ordinary Nigerian women will go through every day in workplaces, in universities, and other aspects of our society. A culture of harassment and silencing must end. And this is not just a Nigerian issue. It is a global one. Women in politics, media, and businesses face threats, intimidation, and violence for simply demanding fairness. From sex for grades scandals in universities to harassment in workplaces and political spaces, Nigerian women have constantly been forced into silence. We need stronger legal protections and a zero culture tolerance for gender-based discrimination and intimidation. My call to the international community is such that the world must not stay silent as democracy and women's rights are rolled back in Nigeria. I call on human rights organizations, women movements, and democratic institutions to hold the Nigerian Senate accountable. Nigeria needs global partners to push for women's political inclusion, safety, and protection from political harassment. You may ask, what are my next steps? I will resist the political intimidation. In the past few days, a number of my colleagues, my male colleagues, have reached out to me and said, Natasha, all you need to do is apologize and retract your statements. And I told them I am not going to apologize. I will not apologize for my truth. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I told them that I will stand the 6-month suspension, and the very first day I return, I will represent my petition on sexual harassment. And I will continue doing so until there is a fair and transparent investigation. I will fight. Thank you. I will fight this injustice and continue to represent my constituents, whether the Senate wants to hear me or not. I will work with women's group, civil society, and legal teams to ensure that this unconstitutional suspension is quashed. This is bigger than me. This is about ensuring that no other woman in politics or public office will ever be silenced again. Thank you so much.
For the first time, Natasha actually became teary. She's a very strong woman. Give that to her. But I think there is enough of, strong woman or strong-willed woman that a human being can take. Because of that appearance at the IPU in New York yesterday, it has now triggered the Ronokus and their base, Akpabiole and his own supporters in Nigeria, where some of them are already requesting that Natasha's suspension should be, in fact, right, extended by another 6 months. Make it 12, make it 2 years. Don't let her come back again. Part of their own argument, according to this mofos, right, is that Natasha has been told not to present or represent herself as a senator. Therefore, she said it too. She said she shouldn't be in that place. So her being there in the face of what Akpabiole and gang did is illegal. But she has nowhere else to run to than to tell the world what the criminals in Nigeria have turned your fake pseudo-democracy to or into. That trip, by the way, was approved by Akpabiole months ago, before the whole Wahala started, from what we gathered. But from the president of the IPU, our response was like, we've heard you, but we would have to hear from others, which is Akpabiole as well. Our response, the president.
Madam Chair, and I think people started clapping before I began to speak, but we appreciate your service, and also the conclusion that you have just given us is Great. So thank you so much. But colleagues, let me also take this opportunity to thank all of you for having traveled long distances to come to attend to this meeting. It shows how you give importance to the workings of IPU, but also to the commitment that our parliaments and our countries should make towards gender equality. Now that we have had a chance to discuss about 30 years, how far we have gone, I think the insights that have been given and the good summary that our chair has just given us, it is showing us how we can actually go back to our countries and try to make a difference, since we are all at the center of this. I would also like to appreciate the people who have worked so hard to make sure this meeting is a success, and I will agree with the list that was given by our chair, and I'll begin with our interpreters. We really appreciate your good service, but also our secretariat led by Paddy here at the IPU office, and we really appreciate, and we appreciate also the people you have been working with, Alessandro, of course, Sandrine, and Zaina, and the rest of the team. We really appreciate. A round of applause for them, please. We also would like to appreciate the cooperation that we have received from you and women. Thank you very much. And that said, colleagues, there was a matter before I close the meeting. There was a matter that arose during the first session, which we had this morning. The matter that was raised by our colleague from Nigeria, Senator Natasha, and because all of us heard what she said, and it only serves us better if I put a word in what she has said. So I would like to say we have heard her concerns, and having heard her, it would have been an opportunity for all of us to understand more about what she has said. But because we listened only on her side, as an institution, as IPU, we will be taking the concerns that have been raised, not only taking her side, but also giving a chance to listen to the other side, as it is a custom for IPU. And after having listened to the other side, we will take steps as necessary. So I thought it was necessary for us to say a word about it and then be able to take it further. Excuse me? I'm still getting there. Thank you. So I thought I should let you members, before we think because she said something different from what the contributions were. So we have taken care of, we have taken the concerns that she raised, and we will be working on them, of course, having listened to the other side, and we will be able to take steps after that. I also recognize the fact that our Nigerian delegate who is here had requested the floor, Honorable Kafilat, but because of time, she wasn't given a chance to speak. But, like I said, we have heard the concerns that have been raised by Senator Natasha, but at the same time, we have taken cognizance of the fact that you would have wished to address us, but time wasn't enough to give you a chance to do that. And that said, IPU will be taking this matter as we usually do when such concerns are raised in meetings like this. So I thought members shouldn't go back home and feel like, yeah, Senator Natasha raised an...
So she seems to have beaten Akpabiole's delegates to that meeting. She beat them to, like she beat them in their game or beat them to it, so to say. So there is another lady there who they refer to as Honorable Kafilat. And you can bet what Honorable Kafilat was there to do, probably to defend Akpabiole. Unfortunately, there was not enough time for her to address them. So Natasha's address was taken on camera. On camera, yeah, not in camera. So they told her that they were going to, take it on and maybe go interview Akpabiole or invite Akpabiole to come and tell his own side of the story. I don't know. But Natasha is not going to give up. That you can be guaranteed. And yeah, it's normal that, if you are from that contraption, all right, and you are raised in such a way that you are always going to be, if you are raised to be part of those that loves to, shame women, there are some of you who feels like, women are nothing. They are this, they are, they are trash, what have you. So where you can push your own misogynistic traits and all that. So you have the field, you have the floor, continue. But you are dealing with a woman who has been there, done that. I mean, she's faced one of the most horrible human beings to have access to power, and his name is Yeye Bello. And at the end of the day, right, I think she won. So Akpabiole won't be, won't really be an exception. Of course, it may just be like a tougher shaki to bite. But trust me, if you know the history of Natasha, right, you can tell Akpabiole that he should be drafting his own apology letter at this point. But Nigeria is a lawless place where normal, right? They are bound to kind of get away with it anyway, right? So women have been reacting as well, because it's like, as much as Nigeria is a lawless place, as much as Nigeria is a place where you have ready-made Olori Burukus that are always going to be on the side of their own oppressors, just give them some crumbs. They will mobilize women group, men group, student group. Just give them just give them some crumbs. They will do the bidding for you. They can do all the mudslinging for you, and they will put their faces on it as well. All right. However, that hasn't reduced the reactions of different women group as well, supporting Natasha, calling out this misogynistic men inside that contraption. Toun was in Nigeria. Toun happened to be one of thiefnubu's. She called herself a thiefnubu's daughter anyway. So ignore her and just take a look at what they are doing.
Has been suspended for 6 months just because they said she was arrogant, just because they said she was rude, just because they said she shouldn't have said what she said where she said it. But the fact remains, what happened to her? It is not about Natasha. It is about Natasha's gender. We are women. You are Natasha. We are Natasha. We are Natasha. I am Natasha. We are Natasha. Is it a crime to be a woman? Is it a crime to be a woman?
Oh, it is not a crime. You are just existing in a country of lunatics, where they have what is called the rape culture, where men, especially those ones who have a little money and power, believes that, they can do anything and get away with anything. Like, you have money, you have power. Normal. Women were supposed to be falling heads over heel for you because you are the Senator President. You can have anything you want. Sheye Ogunlewe, the former Minister of Works from Ikorodu, said Natasha's beauty is her own undoing, something like that. That she is too beautiful for any man not to want to kind of make a pass at her. That her beauty is just her own undoing. Can you even believe that? Here is a doctor lady who has something to say about the issue as well. Listen.
Good morning, all. This Senator Natasha's sexual harassment matter is a deep source of concern. Some people have said that she should go and apologize. Apologize for what? If somebody sexually harassed her, as she accused the Senator Akpabiole, the Senate President, for harassing her, the matter does not need begging. The matter needs investigation. Sexual harassment is not something people play with. Many people think that this thing is just about Senator Natasha. Senator Natasha is at the height of in governance, more or less. Let's call her, she's at the level of female presidents of the Senate, because if there's a Senate president and she's a member, so if that kind of thing can happen to her, or more, there is problem in the land, and they are saying that they should silence it. I don't think that people know that women that are sexually harassed, they suffer. I'm not talking about the ones that go and package themselves in one funny way and now turn it to sexual harassment. Women that work hard to get to the heights that they get to in any level, and they are harassed, they suffer. Especially the ones that do not back down. When the men say, they say, oh, this is what we want, and you refuse. Some of them, they suffer for it. They suffer for it. Let this thing be investigated. If this thing it dies down, university, people don't know that people go through things in the university. Me, someone like me, when I was what year was I in medical school then? There was one lecturer that said this one. I refused to cooperate. I repeated that year. That's what I suffered for it. You know, I was a young person. I don't know what I should have done. I suffered, and the following year when I was repeating that course, by that time I was already bold. I went to tell the man, if you try me this time, you will see what I will do. I told the man, I said that the exact word that Natasha used, that she said, I'm not afraid. When I've repeated 1 year, what am I afraid of again? I said, if you try me, that year, the man let go. I did my exam, and I've moved on. I'm not a consultant. So you can imagine, this is at my own that was when I was a young girl. It's not now that all these things have now become, there's so much indiscipline, so much sexual harassment all over the place. Let us investigate this. This thing should not die down. The Senate President, Oga, somebody has accused you. Step down. That's the honorable thing. Step down. Let them investigate. Is it true or not? It's not apology. That is part of our problem in this country. Our problem is... Good morning.
Asking us to apologize because they will say, do you want to spoil his name? Do you want to scatter his marriage? Do you want to scatter his family? Do you want him to lose his job? Do you know how many beautiful women that wanted to sleep with Akpabiole? That you are now trying to blackmail him. That's what they are saying. So people who get sexually harassed, even raped, have been blamed. You know, they have been blamed for what happened to them. There were those who felt like, there are those of you as well who have seen Natasha and like, she's so beautiful. Like every man wants to have a taste. Like, what the heck is wrong with you? This is the problem. Some of you are not Akpabiole. You don't even have that kind of stolen money. But similarly, you are looking at her and you are lusting over her like sick people. And that is why the likes of Akpabiole cannot support us. You know, those who feels like, he's maybe she's seducing him. Maybe, you know, all that kind of talk. So the right thing to do is to actually investigate, which simply means that if she is guilty, for example, right, guilty of making, sexual harassment allegation falsely, she will be punished for it. If indeed she is able to present all of her evidence to show that Akpabiole sexually harassed her, investigation will also reveal Akpabiole should be punished for it. But in the contraption, that is not how it works. Once you are a big man, you can get away with anything. People will be making up excuses for you. You don't even have to do much. There are people that will be doing that for you. And if you can pay very well, that too. You know? So rather than listen to her allegation, right, they decided to suspend her for 6 months. Why would you suspend a senator for 6 months simply because she refused to move her seat when she was moved. That doesn't make any sense. So the effort is to make sure that, oh, we are punishing her for not accepting the seat given to her by Akpabiole. Okay, you're punishing her. So you are going to now suspend her for 6 months, stop her salary, because she refused to move a seat. But the same you that is talking about her not moving seats and being punished, the same you are accusing her of blackmailing Akpabiole for sexual harassment, and she must come back and apologize to Akpabiole. There is no investigation done, and there will likely be none. You know? But you do all have, probably you have a female family member. Some of you have daughters, whether they are young or they are older right now. Nigeria is a place where sexual harassment of young girls, even married women as well, is so prevalent, is so massive, to the point that so many people just, many of them just take it like in the chin like that and move on. If women are asked to come and tell us how many harassment they face daily from their supposed senior colleagues or bosses in that contraption, you will realize that you have a country of, rapists, so to say, because they don't even see it as that. They don't. We've had the counter allegations against the same Akpabiole, where contractors have to kind of, for you to get a contract or get paid by Akpabiole, you probably have to give him your wife. There have been so many, you know, but they will never be investigated. They will never be, convicted of their crimes. There are more and more victims, right from your secondary school to your university days, now to looking for a job or even working anywhere. Our female, children, our female, our women, they are not safe in the hands of all these kind of, criminals in power in that contraption. So, like that lady said, if somebody who is a senator, that political ladder could be subjected to sexual harassment, then just imagine what others who are just like ordinary people are passing through, and they dare not come out to say it. They dare not come out to say it. You have a lot of these guys who walk about and claim to be rich people, committing this sexual harassment and getting away with it. They will tell you that, what is wrong if I say I like you? There's nothing wrong if I say I like you. Of course, there's nothing wrong in if you see a lady and you say, oh, I like this girl, or I like this lady. But once the lady says, excuse me, I am not interested, please, can you, please? What that simply means is that you have to respect yourself at that point. Anything after that is sexual harassment. It is as simple as that. And it is so wrong that in other working societies, right, that should be the end of such individual, but not in that contraption. But we mustn't stop talking about it for the sake of our own girl child, our own female children, because they have always been these victims of this systemic, sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and name it. So somebody who is the Senate President of the contraption, number 3 man in that Nigeria, should ordinarily, if he respects himself so much, very well, right? Ordinarily should never have been caught. But that's not the first time. Obviously, it's not going to be the last time too, on the streets.
Should be followed. Senator Akpabiole cannot be judged over his own case. He should be bold enough to go and answer to the petition that is alleged against him. Enough of sexual harassment before leadership position can be attained. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
She was elected. She was not appointed. Senator Natasha was elected.
She was not appointed. She is a senator, just like every other senator. She's a senator, just like Akpabiole is a senator. Her rights matter. She was not appointed. She was elected as a senator. Akpabiole, stop oppressing her. Allow Natasha to breathe. Oh. Allow Natasha to breathe. Oh. She was not appointed. Oh. She was elected. She was elected by her people to represent her in National Assembly. She was elected by her beloved people to represent them. Oh. Allow Natasha to breathe. Yes, woman. Ngwangwa. What's up?
I don't know, man. Good morning, man. You don't go let me video for that. Why they come for like? It's my video.
That's right. So, moving away from this Natasha Akpabiole imbroglio, we are going to go to Akure in Ondo State, where women have taken to the streets to protest the increasing terrorism in the state. Last week, it wasn't even last week. Today's Wednesday. I think this was just on Sunday or Monday, was it? Okay. This week, the Fulani terrorists attacked about 3-4 communities in Akure, where they confirmed 20 people. These were farmers. Then, a day after that, these same Fulani terrorists also kidnapped 8 surveyors who were working on a project that is also inside that same Akure. And for those killed by the Fulani terrorists, there's yet to be any arrest. There will likely not be any arrest, okay? Then, for the surveyors kidnapped, the family members of these surveyors have been waiting on government to say something or even do something. Sorry, they have been waiting on government to do something or even say something. Either way. Unfortunately, right, like many others who have become the victims of this failed contraption, right? Silence is all they heard from the government. And then they couldn't take it anymore, so they had to take to the streets, even up to the government house, to remind the government that, listen, your number one job is to protect lives and properties, right? Now, we are at the mercy of this Fulani terrorists in Ondo State. Every day, people are dying, and not because they are dying of any natural causes or whatever, but because they are being slaughtered. And we can't keep quiet. They shouldn't keep quiet. This happened yesterday in Akure, Ondo State. They are begging the government to please do something. Release one. They are on their own, unfortunately. I mean, it's better than doing nothing, though, right? You're on your own. If any member of your family is kidnapped in any part of Nigeria, including Yoruba land, you either start preparing to pay the ransom, or you begin to prepare for their burial. It's unfortunate. And or you probably would have to prepare for both. We've had people who paid ransoms to these terrorists and they never lived to tell the story. They still got killed. So that, you see, when you say, oh, people got kidnapped or somebody is kidnapped and government is going to mobilize and begin to look for them. No. That's not how it works in that contraption. No. If any member of your family is kidnapped, the ideal thing is for you to begin to look for money to pay the ransom. 10 million, 100 million, 200 million. That is the deal. Then you begin to pray that the terrorist shows you mercy. Okay? That is after collecting the money, they still don't get to shoot and kill you. The Afenifere is youth president, Eniola Odajuni, who was also threatened to be killed by this terrorist, managed to pay the ransom. Nobody rescued him. No police, no military, no DSS, no nothing. His family members raised the money, paid the ransom of about 15 million naira. They were demanding for 100 million naira, but they finally collected 15 million to let him go. So similarly, you see all these family members who are, these people who are protesting in Akure, demanding for the release of these 8 surveyors. Because after that, that's just all that they had. After that, everybody dispersed, went back to their houses, and that's it. That's it. The kidnapped surveyors, they are still in the kidnappers' den as we speak, as you are watching this video. Ransom is currently being put together to go and bail them out. That is our reality today. That is the reality of the contraption today. So until you become a victim, right, you are likely never going to understand how this really feels. A lady from Lagos working with Loma. You know, Loma are the people in charge of waste management and all that in Lagos. They are called Loma, Lagos Waste Management Agency, something like that, Loma. If I ask you, this is a question, a quick one. If I ask you, how much do you think is the salary of a waste manager in Lagos? Remember that Lagos is the richest state in Nigeria by all standard. Lagos alone, according to their own stats, generates over 600 to 700 billion naira in IGR and all of that, okay, every year. And how much do you think is the salary of an average street cleaner, waste manager in Lagos? Anyone for the take? Let me check my comment. All right, without wasting much of your time. The answer is this. They were promised that they will be paid 77,000 or so naira. And up to this moment, an average waste manager or what have you in Lagos gets paid 30,000 naira. Even the 30,000 naira is unpaid, which prompted the rage of this woman or this lady. Listen, what it is like to be a waste manager in Lagos, the mega city.
Dr. Akpabiole, the CEO of Loma, we are calling you out. We are begging you, sir. Mrs. Fola Shade Kadiri, the head public affairs for Loma, we are begging you. Mr. Oluwakemi Suleiman, Mr. Kunle Adebiyi, Executive Director of Finance of Loma, we are calling you out, sir. We are begging you in the name of God. Mrs. Modupe Oko, Mrs. Jelila Tademiron, ma'am, and other bosses, we are begging you people. We are begging you, we are calling you out. People should please help us and ask these people. I'm not very sure that it's blood that is running in you people vein. I'm not sure. Because we just don't understand why you people are treating us this very bad. It is absolutely wrong. It is very bad. You understand that you are our boss. Without you, there's nobody like us. And without us too, there's nobody like people because we are the one working for you. What time people say Yaika? They say Eja or that Dubai. Ẹ jókòó sínú ọ́fíìsì yẹn wà nínú ọ́fíìsì ẹ fi báírò ẹ fi gbé owó lọ. Pété àwa tá à ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní títì àwa tá à ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní títì a máa ra gbálẹ̀ a máa ra instrument kò ṣe pé bóyá fún wa ní instrument kankan kò sí allowance kankan fún wa. Firstly, salary wa ti gbọ́ láti August ní pé salary ti di 85,000 naira minimum wages fún ẹni tó kéré jù tó ti ṣe lábẹ́ ìjọba 85,000 naira láti August 2024. Láti August ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní postpone wa August, September, October, November, December. Àwọn CEOs wa, àwọn supervisors wa, wọ́n postpone wa pé ẹ má worry oṣù yìí a máa rí. And things keep increasing every blessed day. Oúnjẹ wọn, transportation ni wọn, gbogbo nǹkan ló wọn, instrument tẹ́lẹ̀ tá fi ṣiṣẹ́ ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa ń bí báyìí. Ẹni tó bá ra ìgbálẹ̀ tó kéré jù, òun ló ń lo ìgbálẹ̀ 2 sí 3 láàrin oṣù kan. Ìgbálẹ̀ yọkan is 1,000 naira. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ wá ń disburse 30,000 naira fún wa nínú 85,000 naira ṣé kì í ṣe kà nìyẹn ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà ẹ gbà wá ṣé kì í ṣe kà nìyẹn nínú 85,000 naira tó wọ́n san ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń disburse 30,000 naira fún wa fún gbogbo almost 6 months yẹn 30,000 naira là ń gbà January yìí náà àwa wò pé bóyá o 2025 wọ́n máa fi kún owó wa ní 2025 nígbà tó máa di January 30,000 yẹn la gbà 30,000 yẹn náà ní sanbọ̀rọ̀ tí ó bá wọ on the 15 on the 13 on the 14 oṣù tó tẹ̀lé tó jẹ́ sí pé àwọn olómìnira tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n ti gba sálárì wọn wọ́n ti ná owó wọn ti mọ bó ṣe fẹ́ ṣe é lẹ́mọ̀ tó disburse 30,000 naira award wages náà ti our able president Bola Ahmed Tinubu his excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu wọ́n ní pé kẹ́ máa fún wa nínú 25,000 yẹn 10,000 lẹ́ ń fún wa 10,000 ọ̀hún gan ráùtì mi lè jẹ́ èèyàn 10 ló máa rí bẹ́ẹ̀ oṣù tó ń bọ̀ lè jẹ́ èèyàn 4 ló máa rí bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn owó yẹn mọ́ pọ́lọ́ máa jọ́ lára yín níbi kan tẹ́ mọ̀ torí àgún aláàgùn lẹ́ ń jẹ yẹn pété àwọn tẹ́yẹ pà ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní títì kí ló dé ikọ̀ tó ti wọ́n mú mi everybody bẹ̀rù pé àwọn ò fẹ́ ṣe fídíò àwọn ò fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ò fẹ́ ṣe fídíò àwọn ò fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ pé bóyá kó má lọ sáka wọn ní pé bóyá kó má call àwọn out àbí pé kíkiní kan má lọ ṣẹlẹ̀ kó má di pé wọ́n máa gba ẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu àwọn ẹ ti rí pé kò sí anybody tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ sí anybody tó máa bí yín ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń hùwà bí Ọlọ́run ẹ̀jẹ̀ já ìkà ẹ̀jẹ̀ ọ̀dájú èèyàn salary February January yẹn gba 30,000 naira à ń wò pé wò ó mọ̀ tí wọ́n bá ṣe fẹ́ fi kún ni tó bá máa fi kún wọ́n ní òkè ìgbà tó tẹ̀ mọ́ wá sọ wọ́n ní contract worker ní Lọ́mà ní pé Lọ́mà gangan ló ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ìjọba àwọn tí wọ́n bá wọn gbá títí contract worker ní wá fine we accept that àgbà bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá ikú contract worker náà ni wọ́n gbà tó máa sọ salary February ẹ̀yin èèyàn nínú 85,000 naira wọ́n fún wa ní 40,000 nínú 85,000 naira 40,000 lágbà nínú 40,000 yẹn a máa rà gbálẹ̀ a máa wọ mọ́tò ẹlòmíì tó jẹ́ pé single mother ní pé bóyá òun àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀hún nìkan wọ́n máa feed ọmọ ẹlòmíì tó jẹ́ pé opó widow tí kò lọ́kàn lé gbogbo responsibilities yẹn ọrùn ẹ̀ ló wà nínú 85,000 ẹ wá ìmájì pé wọ́n yọ 45,000 naira lórí ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan in the whole Lagos state ṣé kò kìí ṣe kà nìyẹn ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá ní contract ọ̀hún gan ẹ wá ń gba owó ju àwa tá à ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní títì lọ owó tẹ̀yìn yọ lórí owó wa ó ti ju àwa tá à ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní títì lọ ìka nìyẹn amara kò sí allowance kankan yín tẹ́ wà lọ́fíìsì feeding allowance yín ń lọ steady transportation allowance yín lọ health allowance common paracetamol báyìí wọn lè pín fún gbogbo ráùtì tó yá àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní ráùtì yìí èmi sì lè mention ní ráùtì kò sí ráùtì bíi tí mo wà ní last year at least èèyàn 3 ló lose life wọn ẹnìkan wà tán ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ tó yẹ pé trailer ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ ṣọ́ọ̀kì trailer báyìí trailer tẹ̀ hàn ṣọ́ọ̀kì yẹn òun ló mú wúmà yẹn tó fi di pé wúmà yẹn ṣaláìsì aṣọ ló mà ló wọ̀dé mọ́ṣúárì general hospital sọ̀lọ̀ ẹlòmíràn tó yẹ pé ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn méjì wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ iyẹ̀pẹ̀ tó máa ń gbá ní títì yẹn ló kó sí àwọn pípín yẹn lójú iyẹ̀pẹ̀ ojú yẹn ló treat títí fún àwọn pípín yẹn fi padà ṣaláìsì kò lè ṣe pé bóyá bóyá kó yẹn ìjọba compensate wọn o kẹ́ máa wọ àwọn pípù yìí wọn fún wọn ní anything ní pé bóyá fi compensate wọn o tí ó bá kí ṣe pé bóyá mọ́tò gbá ẹnìkan àbí trailer yàbá kó tó rí 1 million tó lọ́n fún wọn yẹn lọ́gbà kan àwọn family wọn máa làágùn kẹ wá disburse salary wa àbíṣepà ìpèrè kan tó pọ̀ jù iṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe even àwọn tó ti ṣe ní factory tí wọ́n ṣe cleaner factory wọ́n gba 90,000 yìí gba 100,000 tábọ̀ wá ní pé àti pé contract worker ni wá o ẹ̀yin tẹni contract ẹ wá jọ owó pọ̀ jù 13,000 ò tó yín kẹyọ lórí owó ẹni ilé pé tẹ́ bá tẹ̀fẹ́ ní pẹ́fẹ́ jọ owó ẹfẹ́ jàjẹ́ bá mu níbi lọ́wọ́n ṣe pọ̀ nídìí ó Lagos state yìí ní pé wá jọ owó pọ̀ jù 10,000 naira ò tó yín ẹ wá yọ 45,000 naira ẹ sọ 40,000 ṣé kìí ṣe wàkà nìyẹn ẹ dẹ̀ jókòó sínú ọ́fíìsì yín ọkàn yín dẹ̀ balẹ̀ ẹ relax ẹ ti rí nírìí pé kò sí nǹkan táwọn pípù yẹn fẹ́ ṣe they have no choice tẹ́lẹ̀ mọ́ pé tí lọ́mọ bá fi lè nípa àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ mọ́ ìdíwọ́ Lagos state fún 3 days èkó ò ní ṣe rí o èkó ò ní ṣe rí ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa post fídíò yìí ẹ bá wa post ẹ bá wa tag àwọn pípù yìí torí ìkà ni wọ́n tẹ bá rò pé bóyá èléyàn tó ń ṣe lọ́mà ẹ lè ní bóyá sísítà ẹ̀gbọ́n ọ̀ àbúrò yín ọ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ yín kan tó ń ṣe because kí ni wọ́n fìyà jẹ wà ní àwọn LNSC àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba tó kù àwọn tí ń gba minimum.
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now.
Unfair. So those of you who don't understand Yoruba fully, right? The lady is lamenting their poor pay. According to her, it's been up. They were told that their salary has been increased to 85,000 naira minimum wage. That's the minimum of for anyone who is working with or working for Lagos State. But sadly, those who took the contracts of cleaning Lagos that hired them, they have been paying them 30,000 naira, and only once in a while you will see an extra 10,000 naira added to their salary, making it 40,000 naira. So 40,000 naira out of 85,000 naira, that's so like too much of a greed for you guys who also have access to your own money. You have access to this, you have access to that. We don't. And according to her, people have lost their lives, okay, doing this street cleaning job. We've had people who have been killed by trucks, and others who have lost their eyes and even their lives from the dust that the passing trucks sort of blew in their eyes. In all of this, for just 40,000 naira, okay, that is so. It is so heartless. It is inhuman. They should consider that. A lot of people are so afraid of speaking out because they do not want to be sacked, lose their source of income, so to say. So she had to make that video. Loma. I hope she won't lose her job though, right? People can be so mean and they don't see it as anything, because Nigeria is a place where we call it a dog eats dog, right? Where you see all those big men in those fancy cars, where you get to see how they come by with the money to buy those fancy cars, and you will see the victims, the real people they robbed of their own sweat just for them to look good out there. It is a Nigerian thing. I hope they get that fixed. Maybe I can only hope. Remember Jingir, that Jos-based, Plateau State-based Islamic sheikh, Abina cleric, the champion of the Mumu ticket, Muslim ticket. He just dropped one verse, and it's a complaint. He's a thiefnubu guy for some reason. He could possibly have picked up his phone and called a thiefnubu to complain that thiefnubu has not appointed any Muslim from according to him, he said Tinubu has not appointed any Muslim from Jos, from Plateau State, since Tinubu came to power. He also said that Lalong, which is Solomon, no, is that his name? No, his name is not Solomon Lalong. Lalong, you know Lalong, right? Lalong is the former governor of Plateau State. He is a senator right now. He is a former minister under Tinubu who resigned and took up his seat as a senator after a court ruled that he is the senator. So he is accused of removing all Muslims from the political office in Plateau State. Again, this is a dog whistle by one man who is a champion of this dear Mumu ticket, the religious supremacist.
na sa duk da yan uwana da komai kuma na san kai kirista ne da aka ce ka yadda musuluncin ya ci gaba za a yi zaman lafiya na ce a zaɓe ka yaya aka yi kuka kori musulmi a APC a Plateau ba sauran musulmi kuma mu muka kawo jam'iyyar mu zuwa yara na daidai ne a ce da hannun su lalon kai ba hannun lalon ba tsammani lalon zai ce a kori musulmi a APC ba to ku yan wana al'ummar musulmi da muke son lafiya da zaman lafiya kun sallama jam'iyyar da aka yi muslim aka yi Tinubu ya ci ko da karfin Tinubu da ya ci dan Allah da nace kuma zaɓi musulmi dukan mu nan waye bai zaɓa ba ya kamata a ce Tinubu ya sani ko bai sani ba ya aka yi Tinubu din har yanzu ban ji musulmin da ya ɗauka min a Plateau ba amma ya ɗauki kiristoci guda kaza ya aka yi haka ko kuna jin ni zan ce ya zo ya zaɓe ni yi gwamna ne ko zo ya naɗa na minista wane shi me ma'anar wane shi ni ba zan yi ministan ba amma ni Tinubu a guri na mai daraja ne a guri na Tinubu mai gaskiya ne a guri na Tinubu mai jin magana ne amma mayagun bayi sun je sun kewaye shi wai har da wani barawo tsohon kirista da ya ce wai sai a yi yakin musulmi da kirista a Najeriya ya je ya saci jiragen ruwa wai sun je wai gidan Tinubu wai sun ce kar a bamu makami sai su kan sun zaɓi Tinubu kiristocin Plateau sun zaɓi Tinubu mu fa Allah sa Tinubu ya ji nuisance lele.
So we want to see what he can do about it then. Again, what can you do about it, Mr. Jingir? You know, one thing is that, fair enough, he's not blaming the Igbos this time around. When Tinubu removed subsidy and everything gone south, Jingir told his followers that it was not Tinubu that removed the subsidy. It was the Igbos that removed it in order to tarnish the image of Tinubu, make the Muslim ticket a failure. He said it boldly. So now that Tinubu, according to him, has failed to appoint Muslims from Jos or from Plateau States, and along using all his own political clout at the same time to, according to him, to chase away Muslims from Plateau State. So that's fear that somehow it is not the fault of the Igbos, because it's usually their fault according to this mofo. He's one of those who have been blowing the dog whistle on this religious and tribal extremism from northern part of Nigeria. Fortunately, it's actually in the middle belt part of Nigeria. It's not even in the northern part. But yeah, on ground foot soldiers for their bigotry, using religion and all that. So we want to see what he's going to do. What are you going to do? nothing. You will do nothing. Just like Soludom was talking to some group of people in his, I think in his office, right? Soludom said, he's been clamping down on traditional worshippers in Anambra State in the last few months. So initially, Soludom told the traditionalists, arrested traditionalists who are currently in detention, that one in itself is so wrong, so illegal. But yeah, Nigeria is in itself, right? An illegal, lawless contraption. Soludom picked up a traditionalist and locked them up while he continued investigating if they were fake or real. Then he gave them the condition and said, listen, if you have been arrested, locked up in Anambra State as a traditionalist, if you can disappear from detention, your entire case will be dropped. So that means if I happen to be a traditionalist, I am illegally arrested and locked up for God knows what the Soludo and his gang are on about, right? So if I can disappear, like just, over like that, disappear, then my case will be dropped according to Soludom. But when he was talking to this, while he was talking to these guys, he said the traditionalists have deceived the people for so long. Can you imagine these guys who goes about and say they are making people rich? They can make you rich. They can turn you into this. They can turn you into that and make you so much money, blah, 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 blah. Now, one of them happened to be a known guy whose son or whose child, right, who work as a waiter at one hotel in Anambra. Your papa, they make people millionaires or billionaires through his traditional power. But yet you, his child, you have to go and then wait a table in one hotel just to survive. I don't know. He's mocking them. Don't forget to Soludom.
You get to prison years all over the world. I use fill up the place. Because these guys promised them, because we have done this charm, you can carry drugs, and then the machine will not be And when they are caught, the fault is told to be on them.
Exactly.
Maybe because you looked at a woman. That's why the charge is So, meanwhile, you said one of the big ones that sell with us, his son is a waiter in a hotel in Imo. Don't want to say his son works as a waiter. Whereas he's the one promising young man, he's making how much money do you want? You want 1 billion, I will make it and you will get it. You will get this and so on. We have now taken samples from some of their things, just to see if there is human blood. Because children are missing.
Exactly.
Children are missing. It's at the heart of all of this. The nexus between this, drugs, in our own place, land grabbing, cultism, and then kidnapping. Because once people have been brought up with the mindset that you don't need to work, then when they try this, it doesn't work. Easy way. They try Yahoo, it doesn't work. The next is to go into kidnapping. Buoyed by the institutions and the architecture, the institutions, the structure that fuels this is this whole native doctors and all of it. Who now giving them a totally different worldview, ideologies, that money just come from heaven. You don't need to work. All you need is to get the job, and then you become a billionaire. So we want them, with part of our law. Yes, if you say you do, people can get wealthy by magical means. We'll bring you.
Do it later.
No, I'll go and bring all the poor people, including me. We will all line up. Start making us. Meanwhile, he's going to make you a billionaire, but he needs money from you. He can't make himself.
No, the physician must heal himself.
Yes. No, so anyway, my brothers, I think I deeply put up the outside here.
I mean, his argument is plausible, all right? Because that's what some of these DBS, our pastors in that contraption, that's what they do. The pastors who are preaching prosperity, they too need some money from you. And then they will make you very rich. If you go to these DBS as well, the Babalawos, they need some money from you to make you money rituals so that you can become very rich. So his argument is plausible, but at the same time, it is also like illegal to some extent. Illegal in the sense that except somebody is actually really committed a crime that is against your law, for example, obtaining by false pretense, that's a fraud, right? So you can pick them up and try them, not this random clamp down on traditionalists and then blame them for the insecurity in your state, the kidnapping and all of that. So you get, even though in his statement, he said they did some, amongst the stuffs they collected from some of these arrested guys, they figured out that they found their human blood. Now that, if it is true, that is something worthwhile. So whoever is that culprit in that same vein should normally be arrested. I mean, so should normally be tried and not just lock them up until people turn your government house into like a mecca of sorts, where everybody is coming in to actually appeal to you, beg you, and you can entertain them with all kind of make-believe stories, you know, but it is what it is, okay? So before we wrap it up this evening, how many of you saw what happened at the PDP Secretariat, National Secretariat in Abuja today? I am still figuring out what happened that it was so unruly, rowdy, and all that. PDP in Abuja. Do you know what happened there? I've not been able to find. I know they are like fighting themselves as usual, right? But this is supposed to be the opposition party to challenge thiefnubu. Not. I have it on a very good authority, by the way, that there is a chance that PDP will not even have a presidential candidate in 2027 if they make it that far. There is an expected Supreme Court judgment that will put a final nail on the coffin of PDP, courtesy of Werey Wike, as well as the guy parading himself as the PDP's National Secretary. I can't remember his name right now. So to those of you who are preparing for or looking forward to 2027, well, there's so much to unpack from that at the end of the day. Break up this contraption, save the lives of the innocent people that are being deceived into believing that maybe you have a chance against this establishment. Break up the contraption, save lives is the message. I saw a video of a supposed National, no. What do you call that thing again called? I mean, the student loan. NEL fund, I think it's called. thiefnubu said fake student loan, which is pretty much like a job for the boys, money for the boys. It was spotted somewhere, I think in Shokoto. And honestly speaking, this guy was talking to this, he was addressing in my own, to the best of my own understanding, right? He was addressing students. These are supposed to be students, not alemajiris, illiterate. So he's telling them about the student loan and how to sign up. I'm like, listen, if this is real, or real, no, it's partially real though, right? However, if this is what it should be, everybody as a student should be able to go on and sign up. Everyone, from everywhere, as long as you have access to internet, you should be able to sign up using your own student identity or identification and all that stuff. Sign up, the name of your school, your matric number, your this, yeah, right? Anyway, I saw this and I'm like, is he addressing alemajiris, illiterates? Or is addressing student, but it is also part of the agenda of making it look like they are working.
Is there a phone I can just hold? So, if you have it, thank you. If you have a device like this, and you go online, as long as you have data, and you put in www.nelf.gov.ng, you can sit down and apply for this loan. And for the next 30 to 60 days, if you don't know anybody, you don't see anybody, you don't talk to anybody, you don't leave your room, you will receive an alert on the same phone with your stipend. And you will receive a notification that your school fees have been paid. You don't need to know anybody, you don't need to know the MD. If you never see me again, it won't make a difference to you getting this loan. Isn't that amazing? I think the president deserves a round of applause. So, I'm going to run through this very quickly, all right, because I think that this is one place where, with the dynamism I've seen in the leadership and the students I'm seeing here, you're so on the ball, so sharp. You're all so sharp. What happens once you go online, you put in some very basic information. One, we need to know that you are Nigerian. This loan is for Nigerians. Your name is required. We need to know that you've accessed the institution properly. So your JAM is required. But I'll come back to JAM. Your date of birth, your name. And you also need to have your matriculation number or your admission number. If you have all those things and you put it into the system, we will cross-check it with the information we already have. What's the information we have? We already have data on all of you. Your school has provided us with all the data I talked about. Once you put that information in, it cross-checks with what we have on our database. Once it cross-checks and confirms that it's you, that's why we don't need to see you. It tells us that the person who's applying for this loan, if they have all this information, it must be that person. Don't share your information with anybody so that your identity is not stolen. But once you have that information, it cross-checks with what we have in our system, and it then says, okay, you are allowed to create an account. To create an account, one of the things you need to do is put your email address in the system, account create. Is there a phone I can just hold?
We have a phone. A phone I can just explain to you how to go and sign up, and you don't need to see you, just we'll pay your school fees, blah, 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 blah. According to them, so far so good. They said they have disbursed. They've given us like conflicting figures, contradictory figures anyway, but that's who they are. In the last 1 year under thiefnubu, according to these guys, they said that they have disbursed over 30 billion naira. However, Wale Edu, including thiefnubu, said they have disbursed over 600 billion. Over 100 and okay, now I've got like about 3 figures in my head. The first one, they said they have disbursed over 600 billion naira to over 600,000 students. And they cut it down, they said they disbursed over 200 billion naira to more than 300,000 students. But these guys said they have disbursed over 30 billion naira to more than 100,000 students. We went on their website to see all these statistics, but there's nothing to prove to us that indeed 100,000 students or 200,000 students or 600,000 students have been given money. But it is APC, Egbekebe. You understand? And as we know, propaganda, lanje. So, brethren, because of our traffic tonight, it simply means that we won't take calls again. I'm going to probably see to that next time. So thank you so much for your time with me this evening. It's been a wonderful one, as usual. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. And hopefully we are going to start our reading very soon as well, as we have a pile here to cover. But I'm going to see you again when I see you. Until then, right? Don't stop watching Mayegun. Don't stop sharing. And at the same time, don't stop supporting this platform as always. So thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening or afternoon. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lérí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.